going to be Denise Weirin. She is the owner and the artist of Tiles of Nature. How are you doing, Denise? We came to ask you how you do your stuff. What is Tiles of Nature?
Tiles of Nature are custom tiles, not your normal manufactured tiles. Ours tend to come off. They're sculptured by bas relief. We also do painted tiles, but painted custom.
What do you mean by they come off?
If you'll look here at this lion, you can see his face comes up off of the tile. And the elephant, notice his horns actually extend out, so does his trunk.
So
it's a three-dimensional look. Yeah.
Okay. And is this all the stuff you have, the stuff that's out here?
No, I have more stuff that I'm working on. These are the finished pieces, though.
You mind if we look at this stuff and then we'll take
Absolutely.
All right. What about this one here?
This one here is just some bisque tiles that I bought, and then because they're manufactured, but then I paint them with an underglaze. So they're fired, and then once I'm happy with the color, I'll put a shiny glaze surface on it, so it's safe to use in your bathrooms or where there's water or lots of cleanup.
What do you intend for these tiles?
Well, this would look good in, say, either an entryway or in a bathroom, or you could even use these for a backsplash. You could even use the sculptured ones for a backsplash, because a lot of them are made so that you can pull them off and clean them and put them back. So if you wanted like grapes and wine, you could actually use it for a backsplash in your kitchen.
Wow. So you intend for these to be taken, and they can hang them either the way that they are in the frames.
Correct.
Or they can take them out and they can actually put them onto their wall, their tile wall.
Right. Completely serviceable. In fact, we can even put them outdoors. I mean, I need to know up front that it's going to be for outdoors, because you use a different kind of clay for that. But yeah, you can actually use it for decorating outside.
Wow. What about these pieces down here, these little leaves? These are single pieces.
Some people like these. They like to just kind of mix them together and grout between them. And it makes a really nice, almost frilly looking, believe it or not. It's very pretty. It's very elegant looking when it's done.
Where would they put those?
I've seen them on fireplaces. I've seen them as a chair rail. I've even seen them as a border where it kind of just looks like it's blowing in the wind.
Wow. All right, let's see. What else do we have in here? We have this piece over here. This is also painted tiles.
Correct.
All right. And what about these leaves up here? How do you get the definition?
These leaves are actually from a real leaf. I press them into clay and I outline them, and then I make sure they have nice smooth borders, and then I layer them onto its platform, and then I build up a frame. This is also made out of the same clay.
So what do you mean you used real leaves? Did you bake those leaves into it? Or?
No. I just go get the leaves and I press them into the clay very carefully and remove them very carefully so that I can actually get them cut around, and the outline is just from the leaf.
Okay. You said you make the frame too?
I do. I use the same clay, and I make it bullnose so that it goes over the edge. These I call my matte, even though they're shiny. But then the bullnose, and this goes over the edge too, completely.
Okay. What about this fireplace I saw over here?
This is my piece that I was trying to tell people when I first moved in here, that I wanted to do architectural pieces such as fireplaces. Everybody kept envisioning the usual, marble slabs or whatever, just squared off tiles. But what I wanted to do was a sculptural thing. And I figured that there's not that many people necessarily that want a fireplace with a dragon on them. But it really made people realize what I was actually talking about. We could do dolphins, we could do, obviously, dragons. We could do a horse jumping a railing. We could do a leopard laying on a branch.
And is this, you painted and did all of this yourself?
I did. This is, if I remember right, this was 300 pounds of clay. I built a special platform for it, and I put the 300 pounds of clay on it, and then I sculpted the piece. I've got step by step on how I did it online, but after I get it exactly like I want it, then I cut it. If you look, the whole thing is cut up into chunks that are small enough that I can actually put them into my kiln. Once I get it cut up, then I take the pieces off and I pull clay out of the back. By doing so, it makes it easier for it to actually adhere to a board because it gives you more surface area.
So when you pull clay out of the back, you take like this solid flat surface and you just dig out like a section?
Portions, yes I do.
So that makes
And I'll show you some in the back that I've done to another piece. It's not quite this big. But after I dig it all out, I let it dry for like 3 weeks and then I fire it in the kiln, and then when I pull it back out of the kiln, I'll piece it all together and I'll start painting on it.
For 3 weeks, this is a long process.
It's a very long process. So even after I piece it back together and start painting on it, I'm not ever happy with the very first time it comes out of the kiln painted. I'll paint it 2 or 3 times. And then when I'm finally finished and happy with the colors, then I'll glaze it. And I like matte glazes on my sculptural pieces.
Is this piece glazed?
It is glazed. It's got a very matte glaze on it. If you stand at an angle, you can actually see that it does shine a bit. It isn't a real glossy shine though.
You said something about a kiln earlier. You mind showing us what that is?
Not at all. Come on back. I'll show you my equipment. This right here is a slab roller. This is where you flatten the clay and make it all a uniform thickness. It's got a bunch of paint and stuff on it, but you roll it out, and it'll all be the same thickness all the way across. Well, for the most part. Sometimes your edges aren't, but. And this right here is what we call a pug meal. You put used clay scraps in here, and it comes out fresh, usable clay again. And then here is the kiln. I use a very large kiln. This is the L&L kiln. It's called the Da Vinci.
This is huge.
It is. I'm very proud of my kiln.
And we have another piece over here?
Yes, this is my latest piece that I'm working on. Obviously a cougar out on a mesa. He's a hungry cougar. He looks like he's hungry to me. But here is what I wanted to show you. Pull out this piece of cactus right here.
Wow, it all comes apart. It's like a puzzle.
It is like a puzzle. But if you look back here, see how I've scraped out clay all the way across. It's fairly uniform in depth, but...
So why do you cut it like a puzzle instead of like geometric cubes or...
I don't like the straight lines, and what I found whenever I was first learning to do tiles was that it would go right through the eyeball, or the line would cut right through the nose. You know, it didn't allow me to identify what was important. So I like this better. Plus I can hide it better when I get ready to grout it. A lot of people don't notice on the dragon that it's been pieced back together. The grout hides or helps hide the different cuts I've made. So.
Wow. Well, thank you for your time today. Thanks for